it's actually come up for me a fair bit lately in regards to being honest, and not so much with other people. I feel like I'm quite an honest person, and I do speak my mind most of the time, although sometimes I do refrain from speaking out too much for fear of hurting people, or being perceived as a bitch, or being perceived wrongly. Anyway, so what I just wanted to say was, it keeps coming up for me personally where people are not being necessarily honest with me, and in turn they're not being honest with themselves. And this is something, let me just sit up. I'm lying on my bed and gotta run away, go back to work very soon, but I just wanted to get this out there. Yeah, I feel like I've had some stuff come up recently where I've got friends or people in my life who have said one thing and done another. And I know that this is a common thing for a lot of people in general life. You know, it does happen, and people don't follow through with what they say or whatever. But it's been a recurring thing. It's been really interesting, and it came up, and it's just something that I think that it's worth just having a quick little chat about, because, it's really like, not only is it frustrating, but it can also show a lack of respect for the other person. But it also shows real lack of respect for yourself, because you're not willing to actually be real and true and honest. And I feel like that's a really big theme in today's society, is that we have this kind of fakeness, and people not really being true to who they are, and honoring themselves and what they want to say, or what they want to be, or who they want to be, for instance. And particularly for me as a trainer and as a coach, I've had this happen a lot where people have said one thing, and it's not even like, oh yeah, I'm going to follow the diet, or I'm going to do the work, or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, if you don't do the work, you don't do the work, and then you don't get the results that you want. But for me, it's like, if you tell me or say to me that you're going to do something, and you're adamant, and like you've been really strong in terms of your convictions around what it is that you want to do, whether it be a goal or whether it be an action in terms of, if you've gone away for a while but you're coming back, or whatever, honor that. And if you're not going to honor that, be honest. And this is kind of where I'm going with this, because I have found out, and I mean, the truth always comes out in the end, but I've found that people are really incapable of actually being honest, and they tell these lies, and they tell these stories, and 9 times out of 10, it's more the story in their own head that's actually the issue. Because by telling someone a story, by telling someone a lie, or at least telling them something that they believe to be real, but then they go against that, they're actually creating a story in their head. So for an example, let's say, for instance, if one of my clients, they had to go away for one reason or another, and they were sick, or they were injured, or whatever. But then they decide while they're away, they're like, oh no, I can't come back. It's too scary. It's too hard. It's too, it's going to be so painful. I'm going to be in so much pain, and Gemma's going to be angry, and I'm going to start from scratch. It's going to be so difficult, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, all right, hold on, hold your horses, chill out, because the story of what you're telling yourself is 10 times, 10,000 times, 10 million times worse than what the actual reality is. And I mean, yes, I know I can be scary and all that jazz, but ultimately I've got a big heart, and I find that people, regardless of how big my heart is, or how generous I am, or how open I am for people to come to and talk to with me about stuff, they do tend to still spin this bullshit to me. And it's like, I can see right through it. I know for a fact, as soon as someone says something, depending on how they say it or what they say or whatever, I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, so I'll believe that when I see it. And I don't say that to people to their face, but it is legitimately what happens, and my mind's, that's where my head goes, because it's like, I've seen this before. I know this pattern. But the story's always the worst, especially when you're trying to start something back. So like, for instance, yeah, exactly, Crystal, it is true, because we always make this shit up. And what we perceive to be the truth of the matter is actually a perception. It's not actually real. Like, the truth of a situation, say for instance, you are starting in the gym, the perception of what we believe is going to be a result, or the feeling of a situation, is actually so far outside of what it actually truly is. So when you think of joining a gym for the first time, or when you think of trying a new program or trying a new coach, or you know, even entering into a new business, like I'm sort of facing some stuff with me in terms of, you know, trying to do more stuff online and stuff. And even coming online today, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh, am I going to make any sense? Is anyone going to actually listen to me? Am I like, do I even know what I'm talking about? What's going on? Oh my God, I don't know. And my brain, like, no shit, was just going, meh, meh, meh. And it does, and your head does this. But the trick is to go, nah, that's bullshit, because I do know what I'm talking about. I do know what I can give to people. I do know how I can serve people. I do know how I can actually deliver a message, and people are kind of going to go, yeah, that's true. So for you guys, maybe it's just something to look at, but think about where or what in your life have you not necessarily been super or honest with yourself or others about, and really look at it and go, okay, so if I'm not being honest, or if I'm looking at a situation, yes, woman, preach, yes, queen. Oh my God, I'm having way too much fun right now. Anyway, I can't talk long though, which sucks, because this is actually kind of fun, but I need to go get in the car and go to work. But I just wanted to say that it's a really important thing to look at, that the next time you look at something and you start to hear these little voices in your head going, holy shit, it's really hard. I don't know how I'm going to do this. How am I going to make this happen? Da, da, da. They're going to hate me. They're not going to believe me. They're not going to agree with me, or they're not going to like me, or, you know, oh, they're going to think I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too muscular, I'm too whatever. Got too many tattoos. That's exactly what I was saying, preach, woman. Yes, preach, whoop. Anywho, the next time you do that, just stop, take a breath, and actually go, say to yourself, ask yourself the question, go, what's the truth? What is the truth of the situation? You know, and if you do know the truth, especially if you're dealing with someone else and you're not telling them the truth, just tell them the truth, because people respect you more when you tell them the truth. People will give you more and be and do more for you when you are actually honest and truthful.